Don't go broke trying to look rich. Act your wage. Hindi lang act your age. Act your wage. Isigun mo sa kinikita mo yung lifestyle mo. Kung hindi, nag-aaksaya ka ng pera. Now, I tell a lot of people, okay lang naman yung magkonting luho. Pero, can you afford the luho today? Ang ruling ko dyan, most important, kung luho, dapat kurot, wag dakot. Kurot, wag dakot. Dapat kinukurot-kurot mo lang. Pero pag malaki na ang kukurutan mo, Ferrari na yan. Hindi ba? Ganon yan. Hello mga ka-RFF, this is again Rex Mendoza from Rampver Financials. This talk was actually presented in the Financial Fitness Forum. But I made it a point to be able to deliver this to you because it's one of the most important things that we have to understand. Conceptually, it's very easy to digest. Pero in terms of application, napakahirap po. I have synthesized all the teachings of great people who have devoted time and most of their lives in understanding people, investing, attitudes, culture, and behavior. The likes of Morgan Housel, Ramit Sethi, Mel Robbins, Warren Buffett, Peter Lynch, Will Rogers, and many more. So with this, hindi nyo na po kailangang magbasa ng libro at manood ng napakaraming videos kasi sinynthesize ko na at sinamarize ko na. May repercussion po ang mga perspectives na ito, and that's the reason why I'd really like you to watch end-to-end because this is a two-part series. Yung pong isa is how do we get to strategize after we understand. Yes, we want to get rich. We want to understand the psychology of money. But as we appreciate and understand the psychology of money, the question that is asked is, so what now? So I hope you're going to be watching and learning a lot from this video. Certainly, it's very different, right? I'll veer away from whatever is technical. I'll focus on what's real and behavioral. Many of us often say it, money is behavioral, it is not technical. But somehow, with the way we guide people and even the way we track our own development in our pathway to abundance and wealth, we kind of forget that. Do we also heed such mindsets and do we also try to move our own so that on top of the advice we give, we also track our own development in this space? Pwede ba natin talagang gawin yun? Is there a way of doing this better? So again, I will not belabor you. I will probably quote a lot of people. Again, Morgan Housel has said this, doing well with money isn't necessarily about what you know, and it's about how you behave. The behavior is hard to teach, even to really smart people. And why? Because we don't catch ourselves doing it. It's so natural to us. Some of our wrongdoings, so to speak, some of our missteps are very natural to us. They're born out of the perspectives that we have framed and molded all through the years. And it's almost like we think it's correct. But it's again a very good thing to be able to slide back, see the picture in the frame, and see how we can optimize and maximize. Again, many people would probably remember Dave Ramsey saying this, money is 80% behavior, 20% head knowledge. It's what you do, not what you know. So it's not basically all the trainings that we've had that we get to dump into the laps of our clients and prospects. It's somehow understanding the person on the other side. They're human. They have their own dreams. They have their own goals. Maybe their perspectives are very different from us. So let us dive into all of these nuggets of psychology that we're probably going to be using to track a much better, more effective way of dealing with goals and dreams. The first side to this perspective is the fact that every person will have one. Every person has his or her own perspective. No one is crazy. We all have different experiences and situations. We actually have framed all of our beliefs and value systems, cutting through all the experiences we've had from our childhood to today. So para sa atin, tama tayo. Minsan, The worst part of this is that we think other people are wrong because we don't look at it from their perspective. Alam niyo, minsan sinasabi natin, ano ba naman yan? Kung sino pang mahihirap, silang walang emergency funds, silang hindi nagtatabi, hindi ba? Pero may pera silang panloto. Linggo-linggo, twice a week, they are betting on the lotto. Or maybe, they're even doing this on a daily basis in online casinos. Di ba? Bakit sila ganon? Hindi sila magtabi for emergency funds, hindi sila magtabi for their future. Bakit ganon sila? Maybe we haven't seen it from their point of view. What if hindi talaga sila kumikita ng tama? What if they don't have the opportunities that we do? At para sa kanila, yun lang ang tanging paraan para makaahon. One time, big time. Yes, the probability, based on our knowledge, we're good at math, we're good at actuarial science. We know, hitting the jackpot in the lotto is much like getting hit by lightning twice on the same spot. That is the mathematical computation of it. Pero kung yun lang ang chance nila para yumaman at wala silang pag-asa dun sa linggo-linggo at buwan-buwan pag-iipon, siguro kailangan maintindihan natin. Paano natin mapipihit yung paniniwalang yun before we even tell them that what they're doing is wrong? For them, it is not wrong. That is their background. As I've said, all of us have different perspectives. Alam nyo ba, bawat financial gurung na panood ko, may sariling advice. Meron dyan, huwag kayong mag-i-stocks, huwag kayong mag-i-crypto. Fixed income lang kayo kasi safe, kasi risk-free. And then you're going to be earning on a regular basis. Meron naman sa kabila, stocks are the best performing asset class ever. If you know what you're doing and you're putting money over the long term, no way you're gonna be beat by fixed income instruments. Alam nyo, di ba tama sila pareho? Every advice coming from a financial professional will assume many things. And the biggest ones would be risk and time horizon. Pag binago mo yung risk at time horizon, pwedeng maging tama itong taong ito. At pinalitan natin yon, baguhin din natin, magiging tama naman itong isang tao. So technically, pareho silang tama. Ang tanong, kung pareho pala silang tama, mali ang question. Sino ang binabagayan ng advice nila? Kaya syempre, may followers ito na bilib dito dahil yun ang mga taong bagay na bagay sa kanila yung perspective na yun. Kasi may mga taong pag nandito, abay mababagalan, boring, di ba? Pero pag yung mga tao naman dito, pumunta dito sa isang financial advisor na to, or guru, abay, hindi naman sila makakatulog sa gabi. May volatility, pumapalong pataas at pababa. Hindi naman sila magiging happy kahit mas malaki ang kitain nila over the long. So what am I saying? To each his own perspective. That just means some amount of success and strategy is born out of what we assume. So ang importante, bagay ba sa'yo ang ginagawa mo? Or ibinabagay mo ba sa isang tao yung mga advice mo para tama din para sa kanya? Everyone's going to have their own experience and perspective on everything. Tandaan nyo yan. Lahat ng tao may sariling eksperyensya, may sariling pananaw sa buhay. So, if we're going to be very different, we have to acknowledge that. Sometimes, ang worry ko, may mga financial advisors, holier than thou eh. Laging tayo ang tama, mali sila. Kaya hindi sila makikinig. Di ba? Samantalang yung passion consultant nila, laging sila ang tama. Di ba? Ma'am, ito bagay sa iyo itong kulay na to. Ay, mukha akong maitim dyan. Ito gusto ko. Ay, okay ma'am, sige. They're given the leeway to make their own choices. But there is enough advice to guide them through. You know, people would like to make their own decisions. There is such a thing as the quest for autonomy. No matter how good or bad those decisions are, kakaiba po yung tao na nagkakagusto sa sarili niyang desisyon. People like to make their own decisions whether they are wrong or not. Save and invest, control your ego. Alam niyo ba, your ability to generate wealth is going to be largely dependent on your ability to suppress your ego. Ego is a way of having a different metric. Ang metric mo, external. Pag ang metric mo external, medyo mahihirapan ka at mag-aaksaya ka. Diba? Sabi nga nila, the best way to prove to other people that you're rich is a good way to lose money as well. Di ba? Ganun yun. Di ba? Isipin nyo ha, ito napakagandang statement ni Will Rogers. Too many people spend money they haven't earned to buy things they don't want, to impress people they don't like. Di ba? Totoo yan eh. Di ba? Sino bang gusto mong impress? Mamaya sa strategy part, pag-uusapan natin yan. Sino ba talagang gusto mong impress? Yung mahal mo sa buhay? Yung close sa'yo? O yung mga taong hindi mo kilala? Without tayo, what have you made in terms of lifestyle decisions, money decisions, that actually focuses on an external metric, not an internal one? Alam niyo, napakagandang example. Sabi nga nila, a high-end Toyota will have all the nice bells and whistles, lahat ng added suspension, amenities, yung high-end na Camry, nandyan lahat. At many of the things that are in the high-end Camry are not going to be in the entry-level BMW. Pero may bibili ng entry-level BMW. Now, I'm not judging you, but all I'm saying is this. Ang binili mo dun sa entry-level BMW would not be the pluses of the car itself, the comfort of the car itself, the performance of the car itself. You bought the name. You bought the attention, the recognition it brings you. That is an external metric. Pero kung araw-araw kang sasakay at araw-araw kang mag-i-enjoy, di ba dapat yung mas maraming ibibigay na benepisyo sa'yo? Ito pang isang napakagandang example. Ang high-end suite sa isang regular 4-star hotel probably will be cheaper than the entry-level room in a Four Seasons. Pero bakit may magpo-Four Seasons? Para masabing nag-Four Seasons ka. Pero yung suite ng Hyatt, nandun na din lahat. Mas malaki ang kama, mas malaki ang kwarto, lahat ng amenities nandun. Hindi ba? Pero bakit tayo dun sa Four Seasons? Again, external. Kahit the experience doesn't exactly match. So kailangan po, pag-isipan natin, don't go broke trying to look rich. Act your wage. Hindi lang act your age. Act your wage. Isigun mo sa kinikita mo yung lifestyle mo. Kung hindi, nag-aaksaya ka ng pera. Now, I tell a lot of people, okay lang naman yung magkonting luho. Pero, can you afford the luho today? Ang ruling ko dyan, most important, kung luho, dapat kurot, wag dakot. Kurot, wag dakot. Dapat kinukurot-kurot mo lang. Pero pag malaki ng kukurutan mo, Ferrari na yan. Hindi ba? Ganon yan. Now, maybe a lot of people would somehow feel, lahat ba ng nagmamagandang kotse, nagpapasiklab sa iba? No, I'm not saying that. Sometimes you do that for your own dreams and goals. I respect you for that. However, I will also say, pinag-isipan mo bang mabuti? Winay mo ba talaga lahat ng benepisyo para sa'yo? Growth, you'll have to pay the price. Volatility comes with growth. There is no growth in the comfort zone as there is no comfort in the growth zone. So ano ibig sabihin? Gusto mong kumita ng mas malaki? Magbabayad ka ng presyo. Yun yung walang masyadong comfort, pwedeng maging malikot. It can be a roller coaster ride. To be able to position ourselves for growth, ang kailangan natin ay ang tamang pagtanggap ng volatility, ng probable paper losses, because we know it's part of the game. Yan lang po ang importante. You pay the price and it's okay. Mahirap yung you don't want to pay the price pero gusto mo ng growth. Mahirap yun. Okay? It doesn't come together. Risk and reward go together. Sabi nga ni Peter Lynch, I've always said this, the key organ here is not the brain, it's the stomach. Patigasan po ng sikmura ito. When things start to decline, there are bad headlines in the papers and on television. Will you have the stomach for the market volatility and the broad-based pessimism that tends to come with it? Kaya mo bang sikmurain? Kasi kung kaya mo, then you will do better. Pag hindi mo kaya, guess what? Kung kailan pinakamaganda, doon ka aalis. Kasi hindi mo na kinakaya. In fact, I've been telling a lot of people, it is when you're so tired, nandun ka na sa despondency, nandun ka na sa capitulation, that's actually the best time to enter. And it's a tough thing to say. A lot of people say, easier said than done. But much of experience will point you to the fact that it's real. Totoo po talaga yan. Okay? Black swans will always happen. Surprises will always happen. Siyempre, alam nyo, yung pagputok ng gera, inflation, di ba? Interest rates, lalabas at lalabas yan eh. Iba-iba lang ang kwento. COVID-19, virus, iba-iba lang. Pero laging merong ganyan. So bakit ka pa nagugulat? If you have the right level of psychology for that, what do you have to do? You have to be prepared. Kasi alam mong mangyayari na eh. Dapat hindi ka nagdadasal na sana walang mangyari. Hindi. Dapat handa ka kung ano man ang mangyayari. Diversify. timing the market doesn't always work. If you tell me a guy who always read the market correctly 100%, I will show you a liar. Okay? Nagsisinungaling yun. I haven't seen someone who has done this well 100%. However, the guys who do really well are people who are always in the market. They have time in the market. They're not timing the market. So timing seldom works. Wag na nating subukan. Wala naman talagang mangyayari. Alam nyo ba, diversification and asset allocation accounts for 91% of the performance of long-term portfolios. 91%! So yung kaka-timing mo, yung kakapili mo ng security, di ba? Ang naiko-contribute nun, 7 to 9% lang. So magpapakahirap ka pa ba or hindi mo na dapat masyadong pinapanood yun? Market fluctuations are your friend, says Warren Buffett, not your enemy. Profit from the folly rather than participate in it. Huwag kang sumali sa bandwagon. Pagkitaan mo yung nangyayari. And that's the reason why Warren Buffett is the most successful investor. Naiintindihan niya yung power of compounding. Nandun siya sa market for the longest time. Alam niyo ba yung totoong kayamanan ni Warren Buffett? 99% of his net worth today started accumulating when he was past 50. Uulitin ko yon. Yung kayamanan niya, nag-accumulate ng todo-todo past 50. 99%. So what's the logic of this psychology? Kailangan, you have to be in the market longer term. So, kailangan bantayan mo yung sarili mo, yung disiplina mo, so that you can be in the market longer. Kasi for compounding power to work, dapat nandun ka sa runway na yun eh. Kasi pag kinapos ka, nawalan ka na ng kapital, lalaglag ka, saka umakyat yung market, hindi ka kasali. So you have to be able to naturally withstand all of these challenges and stay for the longest time. Because staying for the longest time blesses you with the compounding that will have the power like no other. Pero alam nyo there is an allure in pessimism. Parang lagi tayong mas nakikinig sa isang pessimist na tao. Mas lalo tayong naniniwala sa bearer of bad news. In fact, I tell a lot of people, alam niyo ba, when someone's an optimist and, I get to be blamed for this. Lagi daw akong optimistic. Okay? Kasi daw, pag optimistic ka, mukhang sales pitch. Parang lagi ako may binibenta. Hindi ba? Pero yung pessimistic guy, parang he or she would sound like he's trying to help you. She's becoming more realistic. She's toning you down. Parang ganun ang effect eh. Di ba? So, people who look for strong fundamentals, who look for the silver tint behind the clouds of doubt, parang silang salesman. Itong talagang gustong makatulong sa'yo, itong talagang gustong mag-salvage kung ano man ang meron ka, they're going to be pessimists. But please, always be wary. Pessimists will always sound smart, but optimists make money. Diba? That is real. Pessimists will always sound smart, optimists make money. And why is that? Have you ever noticed? Times of pessimism is always going to be fast. Pag nalaglag ang market, dire-diretso eh. Dire-diretso. Pero pag nag-recover, dahan-dahan. So what does that mean? Pag naging tama ang pessimist, bilib na bilib ka dahil ang bilis mangyari. Tapos yung optimist, matatagalan bago makabawi. So somehow, mas may allure yung pessimism. Kasi yung pessimism, mabilis ang pangyayari, nagkatotoo kagad ang sinasabi. Samantalang, for the good things to work in an economy, for the great things to work and fundamentals to work in markets, it takes a bit of time. So parang mabagal yung usad ng mga developments for optimistic people. Getting wealthy is different from staying wealthy. Alam nyo, paranoia and risk adversity works if you have money. Sabi ni Warren Buffett again, you only have to get rich once. Pag yumaman ka na, okay na yon, that is great. Kailangan stay wealthy. But a lot of people miss out on this. Lalo na sa inyo yung medyo successful na dyan. Alam nyo nangyayari? Nagiging overconfident tayo. Kaya yung sabi ng kaibigan ko si Edward Lee, yung mga malalakas kumita dyan, akala nila, paulit-ulit yan. Isang guhit ka lang, burado ka. That's his terminology, verbatim. And for most part, that is true. Getting money requires taking risks and being optimistic. keeping money is different. Keeping money requires the opposite of taking risk. It requires humility, frugality, and most importantly, the realization that success might not be repeatable. Don't be overconfident na porke nagawa mo once, akala mo magagawa mo lagi. Hindi ganyan yan. You have to step back and understand na, yumaman ka na eh. Kailangan may konting permis ka. Kumbaga sa basketball, press the ball. Hindi ka pwedeng gumalaw as if you're losing the game. No, you're winning the game. And you have to keep your wealth because you have already earned it. A lot of people earn the wealth and lose it because they think the qualities they have in earning the wealth is the same that they should have, even their mindsets, in keeping the wealth, which is actually wrong. In keeping the wealth, again, frugality, humility, and the realization na baka hindi mo maulit yung nagawa mo. Next, you will never have enough. Alam nyo, kahit maging milyonaryo ka, merong bilyonaryo. Kahit may bilyonaryo in dollars. Kahit yung may bilyonaryo in dollars, may multi-billionaire. There will always be someone higher than you. And the reason why a lot of people succeed but they are unhappy. Actually, hindi ko nga mako-comment na ganun no? Para sa akin, if you succeed and you're unhappy, that's not success for me. Success is when you're happy. Okay, yumamang ka, tas unhappy ka. Hindi success yun. Di ba? Kasi sabi nila, happiness is a function of results minus expectation. Kung laging mataas ang expectation mo, di negative yung results minus expectation mo, hindi ka magiging happy. Never ka magiging happy. Lagi kang maghahabol. Happiness can be equated to results versus expectations. So, clearly, dapat ang iniisip mo, ang metric against you. Against yourself, not against somebody else. Kasi pag kinumpara mo yung sarili mo sa iba, that's the end of it. Sabi ko nga, sa isang opisina, happy ang mga tao na bigyan ng aumento eh. Happy sila until nalaman nila kung magkano aumento nung kapitbahay nila. It is when you see some other person's aumento to be higher than yours, that's the beginning of unhappiness. Ba't ganun? Ba't siya nakatanggap ng ganun? Ako hindi. Pero nung ikaw lang ang nakatanggap at alam mo lang na nakatanggap ka, happy ka eh. It is when you compare yourself with others that you miss out on the happiness ballgame. The hardest financial skill is getting the goalpost to stop moving. Hindi nyo ba papansin? May goal tayo, may target tayo. Pag na-achieve nyo, ginagalaw nyo eh. Gusto na naman natin ng mas mataas. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. I even said in my book, when you're about to hit your Everest, when you're about to get into the top, before you even get there, matter of time, you have to look for your next Everest. Sinabi ko yon. Pero ang importante, you also get to enjoy this journey. Alam niyo yung problema sa marami sa atin? Ganitong kasimple. We try to build our wealth. We're building it. But there are things that make us happy. Alam mo, ginagastusan mo, nagigilty ka pa. I know people who love coffee. They love coffee. They love the aroma. They love the relaxation that goes with it. Pero anong sinasabi ng financial advisor? Uminom ka ng kape. Para kang nawawala ng 700,000 in about 5 to 10 years because that 150 to 200 pesos compounded annually for 10 years at 10% will be almost $1 million. Ano nangyari? O di ba nagilty ka? Hindi ka natuloy magkape. O magkakape ka, paminsan-minsan na lang. That's what makes you happy. You think it will matter in your life that you miss out on a cup of coffee? I tell a lot of people, kawawa naman ang Starbucks. Kawawa naman ang milk tea. Sila pa may kasalanan dun sa poverty. Sila pa may kasalanan why people don't hit, their wealth targets. No, it's not like that. Some financial practitioners use it as an example to make a point. Don't make the analogy. Don't make the comparison as real as it gets. They're just making a point. Ginawa nyo theoretically, sinunod nyo na na, bawal yan. Kinagastos mo yung 150 pesos a day, may mawawala sa'yo. May lumapit nga ganito di ba? Alam mo ba? Pag inom ka inom ng kape, so many times a day, twice a day, in 20 years, actually, ang nawala Ferrari. Ang nawala Ferrari dahil sa kainom mo ng kape, nawala sa'yo Ferrari. O tanungin mo, ikaw, uminom ka ng kape? Hindi. O nasaan ang Ferrari mo? Sometimes it's funny, but this is the way I contextualize it just to make the point. Yes, It's used as an example. But don't ever scrimp on things that make you happy. If clothes make you happy, get a portion of your budget for buying clothes. Dapat meron kang guilt-free shopping. Why? You have to enjoy the process eh. Alam nyo, nandun yun sa 5 steps of wealth creation ko eh. Diba? If you've read our article or maybe watched our video, look us up, Rampver Financials in YouTube. Diba meron tayong 5 steps to wealth creation eh. Expand your earning potential, live a lifestyle lower than your income, accumulate and grow what you can keep, do it with purpose, and most importantly, number 5, enjoy the process. Kasi pag hindi mo in-enjoy yung process, hindi mo itutuloy, hindi mo gagawin. And when you don't do that, guess what? Marami sa atin yung tinatawag na putok sa buho. Mag-uumpisa, tas hindi natatapusin. Maliligaw ng landas. Having independence and freedom is the highest form of wealth. Time is the highest form of wealth. Di ba? Ang pinaka-wealthy po sa buong mundo, ang pinaka-abundant na tao, yung makakapagsabi na, I can do whatever I want today. That's what we aspire for. It's wellness. Ano ba yung financial wellness? Security and financial freedom of choice. Not just today, but in the future. So, in the future, if every day you can wake up and say, I can do what I want today, that's the ultimate form of wealth. This is the psychology that we are missing out on. Alam nyo, when I went through this kind of concepts and studies, it was an eye-opener for me. And why? You know, I share with a lot of friends. One of the things that I really like having is a body pampering. Massages. You know, a great back rub, foot massage, spa. Enjoy ako niyan. Alam nyo ba? Kaya kong araw-arawin yan. Pero parang sa kaloob-looban ko, nagigilty ako. Parang ini-schedule ko pa ng once a week, twice a week, and I look forward to that day. Rex, you are 60 plus years old. When are you going to do what makes you happy? When are you going to spend on things that really make you happy? Now, very clear, do not spend on what doesn't make you happy. Scrimp on what doesn't make you happy. But spend on what makes you happy. Yun ang problema ng madami. And as I share with you, ako din may problema akong ganun. Bakit? Parang hindi ako responsible. Parang hindi ako accountable. Diba? Parang may guilt eh. Pero haven't I earned that? I mean, how much is that? Maybe less than $500,000 a year? Can I not spend $500,000 a year on myself with all that I have? Alam nyo ha, for some people, they don't go and ride business class. They still ride economy. Gusto nilang magbiyahe at mag-enjoy, pero titipirin nila yung sarili nila. Kahit kaya nilang mag-business class, mag-economy sila. Tandaan nyo yan, pag hindi kayo nag-business class, yung mga in-laws nyo ang magbi-business class. Sila ang gagamit ng perang itinabi nyo. Because let me tell you this, no amount of money will change the way you behave regarding it unless you really change your mindset. You have to change your mindset. Dagdagan man kita ng 50 million, dagdagan man kita ng 100 million, you will behave exactly the same way unless you really change your belief systems and values. No amount of money in the bank will make you secure if you are insecure. And no amount of money in the bank, the least of it, will make you insecure if you are overly secure. Maraming ganyan. Wala nang ang pera, gastos pa ng gastos. Kasi yun ang mindset nila. So we'll have to watch all of these psychologies, all of these behavioral and conceptual limitations in belief systems and values to check ourselves and the way we behave about money. Because again, it's a journey. And it's a journey that has to be enjoyed. Sabi nga nila, yung taong nag-i-enjoy sa paglalakad is not even looking at the destination. He will walk farther because he's enjoying the walk itself. But someone focused on the destination will stop walking when he gets there. So I hope this is an eye-opener for many of you. I hope you've learned a lot from this video. Please watch the next one kasi yun ang execution part. Then we get to strategize living a rich and abundant life. Until that time, mga ka-RFF, stay well and be blessed. Thank you.